Hey everyone, Amit, I heard this really interesting thing that you're writing a book and that too in public and before getting successful, before actually successfully launching a very big business, you're writing the book as you're going along. So do put some light, do shed some light on this mind-boggling idea of actually writing in public.
Well, I think, build in public is something that we have embraced, which is the idea of collaboratively having conversations with your community and building that community alongside the product and the business. And in fact, co-creating and, building it together with the broader ecosystem. And while we do that, obviously, there is a need to engage, with the broader world out there. So I figured, why not write a book that describes this journey of building the Awake ecosystem and SharpType and all the pieces and all the companies now that are being built on top of it. So it's a big enough undertaking that we'll have a lot to say,
Yes.
at the very least, right?
Definitely.
So I looked around for inspirational books and fun books to model this business idea around. In terms of it needed to have some level of relevance.
Yes.
And so Mark Benioff, who's one of my heroes in a way, right? Who is part of the what you say computer history, right? In terms of SaaS and cloud and so on, and how Salesforce became what it is.
Yes, definitely.
From his own connecting the dots that he did. And so if you read Behind the Cloud, it's a very nice read, and it's a very informative and fun book. And relatively short, So I think I found that book to be quite a well-written and useful, read. Therefore, I decided to write Beyond All Clouds as our take on the same journey as we push people to not just go to any one cloud or the cloud, but frankly go directly to what powers all clouds, which is the underlying internet.
Yes. Yeah.
The sun behind all clouds is the same sun, and it powers all clouds. And that source of energy, that source of transformation is the same power that we talk of when we talk about digital transformation. It's a process, and that process is powered by the internet. The actual internet, the underlying internet.
Yeah.
And if you go through any cloud, you're not in the actual internet.
Yes. I thoroughly understand that point. Yes.
So now we are, leveraging and describing the underlying energy source, which everyone is already a part of. So this is how.
Yes.
But then, of course, I decided to model the chapters and the outline of the book exactly the same as Behind the Cloud, because it's it's a little bit of a hat tip to one of the greats, right? And so I guess the best artists steal, right? So just the titles, but a whole new rendition, right? So it's like an API compatible with that book. You can swap out that book for this book, and you can read the next version of that. And of course, Behind the Cloud first, and then Beyond All Clouds next.
Yes.
So it's a stepping stone, and
definitely,
it's also a fun little project, right, for all of us to have a bit of fun around.
So if I may come, if I may come from another perspective, so is this book going to be all about business, or is it going to cover more aspects of you as an individual, your other aspects of life, or is just going to be the roller coaster of how you get into business?
I mean, everything is connected, right? There is no
Yes.
independent story. There is only the story of everything, right?
Yes.
So there is no separation in things, and I think the book reflects that. It's mostly about business and technology and building things and that, and entrepreneurship, and frankly, it's marketing and sales and scaling and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's a story of people, and I guess it has some aspects of my personal journey as well.
Yeah. I don't think we should take it any other way than to involve actually everything. So there's, as you've mentioned, it's the story of everything. And I'm hoping there would be chapters for different contributors, different people who are also involved in business, like along with the Shoptype at Awake, different types of people, their experiences, and how is the writing going so far?
Slow. So I started writing it last year, 2021, was it? Yeah. And wrote 3 chapters or something, 4 chapters, introduction and 3 chapters, and then just got completely busy with, and then, with things. But I revived it this week. So I've written a new chapter. So there's 4 chapters now. And even though, Mark's chapters are small and he's got 100 and something chapters, right? And I'm going to have the same thing. My chapters just aren't that small. It's like Mark Twain said, right? Like if I had a lot of time, then I would write you a shorter letter.
Yes. Yeah.
But I just don't have the time to write short things, so I ramble on and on and on. And so these are relatively longer chapters. The good news is that these are early digital drafts. So I think by the time it gets to a book, they'll be, edited into something that many people can tolerate. But right now, I think you can read, the conscious stream of consciousness in its full glory, in a way.
That's actually, and I have read it, and I must say it's a very awesome experience to actually read what is going on right now in the present. So books are majority of the books are written when for the past events, things have been done, let's say few years back or few decades back, but and you can actually feel it that okay, this is going on in present, because it covers a lot of underlying details. It covers a lot more things. If you were to like make it short, if you were to spend more time and make it short, rather it has all the gory details of each and everything going on.
So I think maybe what will ultimately happen is this notion of write in public becomes a thing, right? And people have raw content about the book and about the writing, about the chapters on their websites. Maybe down the line, they make it accessible only to, people who bought the book, maybe.
Yes.
But ultimately, the physical copy is a version of the complete thing, and the book is, you can't possibly capture something in a set of words. So it's something that's alive, and you're just sort of, sharing a snapshot. And so one has to treat it as a snapshot, and one has to keep it alive. I think that's what the community and the platform and actually for me, I think, I see we're putting together a new, protocol. It's called the INK protocol, So it's a publishing protocol. How do you publish books? And what are the components and people and everything that go into making a book, including, for example, photographs and pictures that turn into NFTs or quotes that can be clipped and shared as, potentially as NFTs. Now, it depends who's doing it. And you would probably buy something that, I don't know, the Dalai Lama minted, from the same book that somebody else minted the same quotation, but because it is the Dalai Lama, you would, I could have said Kim Kardashian, I guess, but I don't know. My examples are, behind the times. But okay, Kim Kardashian, if they minted something, everybody would buy it, right?
Yes.
So it all depends on who's the actor on the play, on the stage. And so that's the world stage we're talking about. And so every aspect of content now turns into that digital experience which has the opportunity to engage with your fan base and your audience and your potential audience and partners, business partners, investors. I mean, that's what it is, right? It's everything coming together in a synthesis of community-driven cash flow.
Yeah. So yeah, as expected, it's not just a book. It's an abundance of value that can be delivered and created to like whoever sees value in it.
It represents the knowledge economy, books, right? So knowledge versus information. Google organizes the world's information. Oracle organizes the world's data.
Yes.
But what is knowledge, To organize the world's knowledge, you have to know what knowledge is and how it's different from data and information. And the answer is obvious. Knowledge is experience. Without experience, there is only information.
Yeah.
And so there is no real knowledge. So knowledge is experience. And without experienced people, you don't have expertise and you don't have the required knowledge. That means totally expertise is knowledge, which means it comes through people who are experienced in it.
Yeah.
So to organize the world's knowledge, you only have to organize the world's people.
Yeah,
and we are the world's largest community of people who want to co-create using their own experience and interests and knowledge and connections to continue doing more and more and more of what they love. Because what else is life about, right? To connect with others and to do what you love and to share is life. Everything else is suffering because you're deluded in some horrendously, minute sort of way, whereas the whole entire universe is the real playground and the real stage.
Yes.
That's abundance. When we talk about abundance, it's not a word, it's not a concept. It is direct experience. So I can tell you from experience that the world is abundant because I'm experienced in it. I've had an experience of it, you see? Yes. And therefore I can, write about it and it's a real thing versus just organizing information about it and telling you that, hey, if maybe we all or they or someone else did it, it would happen. It's hypothetical. That's not a real knowledge. And there's tons and tons and tons of books that have hypotheticals, right? Which aren't just real or even historical things. I mean, it's just a description. Unless it was Mark who wrote the book, I wouldn't be interested.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the point. I would read the biography of Steve Jobs, the one he himself was involved in writing. Not anybody else's ideas about him, no matter how much they claim to know him. Obviously, none of that can possibly be true because they're not Steve Jobs. They're not Mark Benioff, right? So if they say something, that's meaningful because they've done it. Otherwise, this entire media circus gives you the current situation. Just a joke. Bunch of people talking about things as if they know, including Wall Street analysts.
Until and unless you have experienced it, it doesn't make sense to actually listen to read and get opinions from people. So
opinions
people who have this,
Nobody wants opinions. We want a description of direct experience. That's knowledge.
Yeah.
And then you bring those people in to do whatever has to be done, and that's action. Right? Because that's that's the cycle. You go from data to information to knowledge to action, which of course generates lots of data. Right? So you've got the full circle.
Yes, you've got the full circle. Thanks, Amit. Thanks so much. And I really look forward to discussing all the chapters that are coming along in our next talks. Thanks so much.
Yeah, for sure.